Today we have a very special shop tour for you. I'm joined by Jeff, who's the Executive Vice President of the Lee Company. Jeff, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for coming.
Now,
really happy to have you.
People a little background on what the Lee Company does. If you had to put it in a sentence, how would you describe it?
So we make miniature hydraulic components that control fluid flow inside hydraulic systems. Our primary markets are the aerospace industry. We also make stuff for light industrial automotive and for the medical industry. We have approximately 1.2 million square feet of manufacturing space and offices.
And how many people work here?
We employ around 1,200 people. I think I have about 500 machine tools.
And now I do know, I see a Eurotech here.
Yep.
When it comes to making decisions for investing in machine tools, how do you guys typically, I mean, obviously if you're huge production facilities, how do you make that choice to go with a certain brand?
Honestly, it's a personality match, but it's also service and quality of the equipment.
Now I take it because you guys want as much production in this facility as possible. Just about everything that can have automation and a bar feeder on it is going to have that.
Yeah, so we do a lot of lights out manufacturing. So we've been doing it for a long time, but certainly the technology of a vision system sort of stuff, starting maybe 5 years ago, and about the same time, automation with UR robots came along and really allowed us to step up our game on lights out manufacturing. Hard to find people these days, so we certainly are not eliminating people's jobs. We are trying to free people up so they can do other stuff that we need them to do.
More important work.
That's the most important thing. It does make us more efficient, and that's fantastic. See everything set up for doing lights out for the most part. You'll see some robots. You'll see some parts catchers.
Again, we're seeing in-process inspection everywhere here.
Yeah, we do only run one shift. So daytime is hectic, if you will. That one shift that we do run is fairly hectic. The machines are running all night long. So when you come in the morning, you've got a whole night's worth of run of parts. So you've got to do some statistical process control and inspection on those parts when you come in. If you've reached the end of a run, because our run times are a week to 2 weeks. So with this many machines, you've always got machines that are coming to the end of their particular run time. So you're gonna have to tear it down, set it up for the next job. So daytime is quite busy with everyone doing stuff. You can see a robot arm over here, and we're just doing some stuff during the day to get it ready to run again overnight tonight.
Just so people know, when we're talking a production run, are we talking 5 parts? Are we talking 100? Are we talking 1,000? What's kind of, I know that it varies, but what's kind of typical for a run here?
Yeah, in this particular group, our runs are going to be around 250 pieces to 500 pieces. That's kind of middle of the road.
And some will be this big, and some will be this big.
Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty big. It's more like this big to.
I don't know if I can get on camera how small that's supposed to be.
Small.
And what kind of steel, when we're looking around at these parts, obviously everything tends to be a stainless or derivative. What kind of materials are you guys running in these machines?
Yeah, it's for the most part 300, 400 series stainless. We do interestingly, we do a lot of parts for the oil tool industry. So we got some stuff that you probably wouldn't like.
Not at all.
Like Manels and Inconels, Asteloids, things like that we're making screens for.
The thought of making a screen out of Inconel makes my blood pressure rise as we speak.
And on this particular machine, we're setting up and we're running 347 material. So it is a 300 series, but it is high nickel content. And we're making a fairly big part. I know we looked at it earlier. The part that we're making is this size. So we're taking a solid chunk of bar, and we're throwing away most of it. Particularly since we're running so much lights out, you're making a lot of chips. But chip management in the machine is very important. So all the coolant lines, how we're getting those chips out of the way, how we're getting them out of the machine is very important. It's a whole part of how we do our process development. You can't do lights out without good process development. The first thing you need to do is figure out, how long can we make this machine run without anyone having to touch it?
That's the optimal scenario.
Exactly, because if we want to run 14 hours overnight, you want to make sure that you don't have to be changing tools or making offsets. There's some things that we can do. To cheat on that, we can load extra tools in the machine so that, it does half of the job with this tool, and then it'll switch over and make half the job with this tool. We'll do some bumps, some offsets and stuff, some tool management to make sure everything's still running good, so we're not making any scrap overnight, but it does optimize our process. So chip management is a huge part of that process, because if you're going to run 14 hours with nobody watching it, you want to make sure